Izzy Adesanya was rumored to have a staph infection. I was never clear on where that rumor came from. I got all the rest of the story. I got the in-between. I got when he was done, he said, it turned out it was a scratch. I was never clear on where this came from. If Izzy came out and said I had staph, which wasn't staph, or if Izzy did like an embedded show and somebody just caught it on camera and you've got these armchair doctors from around the world declaring he had staph. But it was something along these lines. Izzy came out and cleared it up and said, I don't have staph. Now, whether he does or not isn't mystery solved by him stating that he doesn't. But then a lot was also made of, what will happen with this fight and where will the fight go? Let's cover a couple of things here. Okay, first off, Chael is not a doctor and Chael doesn't want to be brazen to you about staph infections because they come in many different levels. I can just share with you on the most simple of level, ones that I have to deal with on a very regular basis. You would be stunned at what goes around a mat room. You would be stunned at what lives in these damp, dark, poorly lit rooms, okay? They get cleaned once a day but have 3 and 4 workouts on them once a day. We are passing stuff amongst each other, so I'm making the assumption, but I think that I'm rightfully making the assumption that he has the kind of staph that I get and other fighters and the grapplers get. I will tell you this, so much has been made of these staph infections, it takes 72 hours for it to be gone. It takes 48 hours on antibiotics for it to no longer be transmittable. But 72, it's a distant memory. I share that with you because I've seen guys make excuses of a staph infection and then fans try to make an excuse for them prior to an event. Now, it is a very real concern because there would be a medical check, and if a doctor saw an active fungus, and that's the category this would fall under, on an athlete combatant's body, they could cancel the fight. 100% they could cancel the fight, and likely would for something as contagious as staph. The good news is, this is week-old news. So, based on the 48 hours, based on the 72-hour theory, there's simply nothing to see here. But I never do cease to be surprised at the fans. When the athletes do it, it's mind-blowing to me when they offer an excuse prior or even after a contest. But when the fans then offer the excuse for the athlete ahead of time, it's even more confusing because the fans have jobs. And some of the excuses that they offer to their athletic friends, they would not accept themselves. Would any of the viewers out there, if you had a staph infection, call in sick for work? Or would you put your clothes on and go? I might be the one that's more surprised here by the answer. Maybe you would call in sick. I couldn't imagine. But maybe you would. And it's very unique to MMA for some reason. I have never in all my days, if you know of an example, please offer it to me. I'll give a correction. I just don't know of one where there was ever going to be a Super Bowl and anybody who started on offense, defense, or special teams didn't show up and start in the game. I've never seen an NBA Finals. I'm not aware of it. If it's happened, I don't know of it. Where the starting team doesn't take to the court. I've never heard of it in a World Series game 1 through 7 where the starters don't start. That would be miraculous and an amazing pool, an amazing focus group. That why has nobody in the history of time not showed up and started? Why did they not get up and go to work? Why didn't they see that as an opportunity? I don't know anybody who's ever in the history of time forfeited an Olympic finals event. I can't imagine they feel good. The Olympics, any way you want to do it for any sport, men and women, is tournament format, which means by the time you get to the finals, you're exhausted. You've already had 4 or 5 competitions amongst the best in the world in that. You're tired. To make believe that they aren't ever sick on championship day or hurt on championship day, that just seems like too big of a leap for me. But I don't know anybody that's pulled out. For some reason, the fans within the space of MMA are as big of wimps as the fighters within MMA. MMA has never been plagued with people that have failed to make weight. It's never been plagued with illness or injury. It's plagued with a bunch of fake tough guys that for some reason have fans that are fake tough guy fans, because the fans are more than happy to go along with the made-up story of a staph infection. a story and a premise that is being rejected by the principal in the story, which is the champ Adesanya himself. If you have a job to do and you said you would do it, show up and do your job. Take that advice with you. And if you just can't resonate to that, maybe you got to toughen up a little bit. And maybe you've got some character issues where your word just simply isn't enough. Maybe that doesn't in your heart mean anything to you. To other people in life, it does.